Hi, my name is Nick Krantz, and I'm a web engineer here at Livefront. I spend a majority of every day working in the browser and using the developer tools. The Network, Console, and Sources tab are front and center, but recently I discovered a few gems that are hidden a little deeper. Though they're small features, they have increased my efficiency. Let's take a look. Let's say I want to grab the HTML instance of this card. First, I would inspect the card, copy the selector, and then take that over to the console and use the query selector method to paste in the selector, and then I have the instance of my card. Writing out the entire query selector method is a little bit of a hassle for repeated queries. In the DevTools though, it is aliased to the $. So rather than typing out the full command, we can just use the $sign to retrieve that reference to my card. Going a step further, let's grab the titles of all the cards. We can use the query selector all method to grab all instances of the element. One of the downsides of the query selector all is that it returns a node list. All of the methods on a node list return an iterator, which is not the easiest to work with directly in the console. Just as the query selector was aliased to a single $sign, query selector all is aliased to two of them. Best of all, the double $sign returns an array. That way, we can map over the results using the text content to retrieve the headings directly. You could be thinking that having to deal with the CSS selector at all is still too much. Luckily, we can solve that. Inspecting the first card again results in it being focused in the Elements tab. The DevTools automatically store that element in a variable. Navigating over to the console, we can use $0 to get the last selected element. No selectors needed. Selecting another element, like the link within that card, allows me to use $0 to grab the reference of that link. Then my card moves to $1. This works up to 5 elements, so you can reference up to $4. Let's see how the DevTools can help with accessibility. Color contrast is a common thing for me to look up. My previous process would be to get the font and background color of an element, take those to a separate website, and see the color contrast ratio there. Though it's a little difficult to find, the DevTools can show you the color contrast ratio automatically. Let's take a look at this eyebrow text. The color swatch is actually clickable. Opening it, you can see the color contrast ratio. Expanding this menu does show you the AA and AAA rating. In the color gradient above, it also shows the lines for AA and AAA ratings. You can drag the color below the second line and you can see that my color now passes the AAA threshold. While looking at the color property, the color swatch is also clickable. If you shift click, you can now see the color equivalents in different formats. Very easy to navigate from RGB to hex or hex to RGB, or any format you would need. This next one is unique to Firefox. Using tab is a quick way to navigate a web page, but can also be a necessity for others. Figuring out which elements in the tab order is easy by testing it directly. Not great when you're thinking about an entire web page. Firefox has a nifty feature in the Accessibility tab, Show Tabbing Order, which then highlights all of the elements on the page and also numbers them in order. This is very helpful when arranging content, spotting elements that may not belong, or invisible elements that are in the tab order. Lastly, editing the markup on a web page can be an easy way to quickly demo changes in copy, but the feedback loop can be quite long if you need to deploy to a lower environment for others to see the changes. By turning on design mode, the entire page becomes editable. Now you can select any element and edit it. You can even underline, italicize, or bold things. You can use this to quickly get feedback from your design team or any other fun things you can think of. These were just a short few features that I have found impactful to my day-to-day work. I have a feeling that there are a ton more to find. I'm going to keep digging, and so should you. Thanks for watching.